Lithography is a graphic technique for creating an image. Its name derives from the Greek words lithos, stone, and graph, to write. The image is created on a perfectly smooth surface of a slab of fine-grained limestone, commonly known as lithographic stone. After applying chemicals to the stone, we obtain different areas, those that hold the ink and others that repel it on the basis of its oily substance. With its advent in the 18th century, lithography allows new possibilities for print and reproduction. Its founder is considered to be Alois Sennefeld, a Czech national living in Munich. His experiments in printing from a stone are shown in his textbook on stone printing, detailing every application and approach to the new technique. Lithography quickly gained popularity and became the preferred graphic technique, offering painters innovative forms of expression.
Здравейте, намираме се в литографската база на Художествената академия в София, България.
Hello, my name is Lucho Rousanow. We are at the Lithographic Center of the Bulgarian Art Academy in Sofia. In 1990, I graduated from this academy majoring in fine graphic art. In 94-95, I specialized lithography in the Tamarin Institute in Albuquerque, New Mexico. For 10 years now, I have been working in professional lithography. At the moment, I'm an instructor and master printer. This is my workshop in the Art Academy. This is a film that outlines the basics of the process of lithographic printing, which in Mr. Ru Sanow's opinion could be of great use to students with professional interest in this complex technique. Of course, for the short time available, it is not possible to show lithography in its full complexity, and the present film will only focus on the basics. Limestones are common carbonic sedimentary rocks. We recognize several types, one of which is the micrite. After their extraction, the big chunks of micrite are cut and shaped. Limestone mines for lithographic use are found in many places in Europe, the Americas, and Asia. On the table we see the instruments for cleaning and smoothing of the lithographic stone. The metal carborundum is used for abrading the stone and clearing the surface. The size of the carborundum varies between 80 and 320. For greater convenience, and to avoid too much scrubbing, we can attach a handle to the stone. For removing water, we apply a rubber wiper. The lithographic stone can be used many times. After completing the print edition and before starting a new drawing, the stone is moved to a special table for cleaning. This table is especially equipped and constitutes a grid on a stand with a channel for draining water. Note that the scrubbing must be even at every point on the stone. This is the reason the pressing stone goes over the edges of the matrix. Diagram 1 shows the pattern of movements during the smoothing with the smaller stone. After it's been washed and dried, we sprinkle the lithographic stone with carborundum. The sprinkling must be even. The concentration of excessive carborundum at any given place will result in the corruption of the lithographic stone. We begin the scrubbing with carborundum size 80 and 100. This allows us to erase the old drawing and to smooth it easily. As we see from the diagram, the movements are circular. We begin in one of the corners. Then we turn to circular movements in the shape of the number 8. Finally, we move diagonally and along the edges of the lithographic stone. Diagram 2 shows the directions of the metal disc during the scrubbing. After we have treated the stone with large-size carborundum, we move on to a finer abrasive, size 180-220. Every time we make sure that the sprinkling is even and that there is enough abrasive on the surface. The disc must be spun very fast and evenly, which requires skill and practice. Again, the important requirement here is that it goes over the edges of the stone. The movement is the shape of an 8 along the diagonals and sides of lithographic stone. Diagram 3 shows the movements of the lithographic stone. It is bigger in size than the metal disc. This requires another method of treatment. The circular movements are similar, but this time they are serpentine, in addition to the very important movements along the sides and the diagonals. The good rounding of the edges is also an important element in the pre-printing stage. First, the edges are round with sandstone. We finish off with a metal file. Note that if we do not complete this treatment, the printing will leave blemishes on the untreated edges. After each scrubbing, the lithographic stone is amply washed with water. The drying is done with a rubber wiper. After which we fan the surface. After scraping the surface with large-size carborundum, we must check the evenness of the surface. This is done with a metal ruler, under which we place a thin piece of paper. We position the paper according to the shape of the lithographic stone. First on several places along the width, and then along the length and the diagonals of the stone. If the paper is moving easily on any spot, this would mean that the stone is concave. The scrubbing should continue until the surface is perfect. Only after this, we resume the process with fine carborundum. If we wish to have ideal format of the image, the desired format is marked with a gum arabic. The margins outside the image are treated with a brush. The thin layer of film of gum arabic protects the margins from smudging. At last we can proceed to drawing on the lithographic stone. On the table we see the materials and instruments for drying. Characteristics of all materials is that they contain a portion of soap and oil, which create the desired elements on the stone. The pastels are numbered 0 through 5, as those numbered 0 are the softest and with the highest oil content. The drying is achieved through gradual layering of lines and shapes. The important thing is to keep the margins from outside smudging, which can occur even by a touch of hand. The different types of touches give us ample freedom towards the plastic creation of images. The touches can be dry and liquid. With regard to the creative idea, the painter picks the type of touche: graph, or brush, or fine nuance. The dry touches give the painter the ability to control their fullness, as he can adjust them with regard to the particular lithographic stone. Rubbing ink is a characteristic material for overlaying colors with lint cloth. With it, we can achieve very fine nuances. Rubbing ink is used with stencils and has 3 degrees of hardness: solid, medium, and soft. The instruments for engraving on the lithographic slab have complicated and specific shape. With them we can engrave in depth through a sophisticated technique called offort, or etching. Through removal or rubbing of the touche or pastels, we can mechanically create fine nuances in the image. On the table are the chemical materials: nitric acid, gum arabic, rosin, talc, as well as lint cloth and brushes. Depending on the image on the stone, pastel or touche drawing, the printer prepares several etches of different concentration. The mixture of gum arabic solution with nitric acid combines with the limestone and repels oil. The process undergoes 2 stages. In the first stage, we fix the image on the stone. We do it in the following way. We sprinkle the whole surface with rosin. It sticks to the oily surface, and because it does not dissolve in water, it makes the etching more stable. The leftover rosin is removed with a brush. After this, we sprinkle a little talc, which furthermore fixes the drawing. It is important to know that by removing the leftover talc, we also remove some unwanted rosin. In addition, the talc helps for the gluing of the rubber solution.